You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Wepa! What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Al Mega. Happy Tuesday! Today we have an amazing creator on deck talking about his all-new ZOOP project. We're going to get into that in a minute. But before we do that, let me introduce my co-pilot today. It's the fellow crusader, C.V.R The Bard. What's popping in, mano?
Salutations. What's going on, gentlemen?
I'm excited, brother. I'm excited, man. We're going to talk to a modern legend in comics. He's been kicking ass. He's, done awesome projects, for Marvel, independent. I mean, Star Wars, Moon Girl. I mean, right now, he's got a kick-ass project with another former Marvel editor, Chris Robinson. I mean, this project is amazing. It's called Cornerman. And I have the creator on deck. It's the one and only R.A. Hi! What's poppin',
hey. What's up? How you guys doing?
Well, fired
First of all,
man.
Much love to the Rorschach mask. I love it. I mean, it's like I felt like, oh man, I didn't come prepared.
Awesome. Ray, man, thank you for taking some time today because I know you've been very busy. You got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Most importantly, you got this kick-ass project out right now called Cornerman, on ZOOP. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Let people know, where they could support it, what it's about and all. But before we get into all that, obviously, I'm all about the origin stories. I haven't had the opportunity to have you on air yet, even though we've met in person at a con.
Oh, yeah. We've talked a few times at a con.
Yeah, exactly, man. Chilling. Ray's always busy. I mean, Seven was talking about, in cons, all these artists and poor guys are stuck, with their neck about to get a hump because they're drawing all day, on these low tables. And he has a great question about that.
Yeah, I got some questions for you about that for real.
I'm set. I'm ready.
I'm doing the Lord's work out there.
So give us a little bit about you, Ray, man. Before we get into everything, it's like, where you hail from and how did you get your start, in comics?
Okay. I'm originally from Compton, California. Straight outta. And
don't tell me. Wait. Were you balling? Were you balling with the crew back then too? Okay.
You know what? Hey, I'll be 47 this Thursday, so you do the math.
All right. No more questions to be asked. I'll make a slice.
Yeah. It was my family runs deep. I didn't know those particular cats, but I graduated from Compton High School. So
oh wow.
So that
So how was that in that era? And then it's funny too, because we were talking about that era of the 90s, and then I graduated in 93 in New York, wild stuff going on.
Yeah, look, and I'm 92, so it was wild. It was wild. It was what they say it was, but here's the other thing. There was so much more to it, and that's the only thing that trips me out about the media. Sure, I'm not what some of the stuff that was going on. I mean, if so much of it was happening, it's true, right? And then you hear stories from other people that can corroborate that, like the riots. I was in the smack dab in the middle of the riots too. Ooh. Helping out friends, who was stuck different places. Oh yeah, man, it was something. It was.
Did you throw a brick?
Nah, let me tell you something. I was helping folks who after was running from the police or was stuck in fires. As a matter of fact, I had my car, and there was a gas station on fire. You want to talk about driving through an inferno?
What?
And a friend of mine was over there, couldn't get out because the fire's blocking it. I rolled. I had a Toyota Camry hatchback, y'all, and I rolled, and I got them, and it was hot, man. It was hot. So
those were the beginnings of R.A. Heights superhero shenanigans, folks. Right then and there, that started it.
You know what? Hey, man, it's enough people out there doing their thing, and
good on you, brother. Good on you for helping out, man.
So, but yeah, man. Comics, my cousin, shout out to my cousin Savoy out there if he's seeing this, but he would say comics saved our lives. And
why would he say that?
Because a lot of times we could have gotten in trouble, but we was inside either reading comics or at the comic shop or whatever. And I mean,
especially over there in Cali, right?
Exactly. So I mean, it's a lot to get into. My pops used to say, even though I still would do it, I would come home and it'd be after 12. And he was cool, but he would say, you know what? Nothing to do after 12 but get in trouble.
Yeah,
And
he ain't lying.
he wasn't lying. It's true. It's very, very true. So, but for the most part, I mean, I had a separate group. I had the comics group that I hung out with, who was me. We're friends to this day. Those are real ones. You know what I mean? Like
Wow.
from day one, because my first comic independent was I was 19 years old. It was that crew. They was
Wow.
doing it, so we published our own thing, and that was
Well,
back in the day.
your crew started. You started publishing as a young cat then with your boys.
I did.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah,
Check
because
you out.
I
Love it.
you know what? I love comics, but here's the thing. I grew up in that era where there was a lot of independent comics,
Yeah.
where there were like, the Turtles came out in the 80s, and they had Elementals, they had as a matter of fact, in 1992, guess what started? Image Comics, right?
Yeah.
So, these guys was doing it already. It's not that they didn't love the stuff that they did in Marvel or DC or whatever, but that's how I felt. I had characters too, but I was one of those dudes that was smart enough to realize Marvel did not want a character I created, especially if I'm some kid off the street that hadn't been working. So why not do it myself? And I was just doing that, and I mean, man, we was doing a lot. It was fun. It was a crazy time. There's no fear, Now it's like nothing but fear. Like, oh, they're gonna want to see this,
Yeah, but tell the people though. I mean, there's a huge difference between that era and the now. I think right now
Oh, yeah.
it's easier to publish. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
how much education did you guys need in order to start this, or were you guys already, or some of you already kind of ingrained and understood?
Well, I spent a lot of my time at the Compton Library just researching stuff. As an artist, man, you got to know how to draw everything. And I was trying to up my game. And we would have meetings there, and I would read all kind of stuff on publishing and who did what. I mean, all the way back to like the Sunday strips.
Oh wow!
Like,
yeah.
I was reading books on those kind of things too, because I was interested in kind of getting into that, any little thing to kind of get published. And then I can't remember what book it was, but basically it was like, this is how you do it. And then I was, back then it wasn't really online. I would talk to cats who already done it. Hey, who got that printed for you? Who's printing Marvel stuff? Who's the printers? And back then there was other distributors. So, we talked to them. Hey, the legwork was hard. And it was like between 7 to 8 cats in the crew that was doing it. So everybody brought in information. It's not like the internet. One person can go online and get all they need. Like this is a milk run, you guys. Like you want to make comics, then make comics. You can publish online, you can get it printed. Everything is like all the information is out there. But back then, first of all, I didn't even know any cats that looked like me that was doing comics. Most of the people I saw in Wizard or whatever there were white guys, you know what I mean? I mean, that's real. No, it was all good. And then I want to say, like, when I want to say it was Dennis Cowan and the Milestone Cats that came out, and it was on the cover of Black Enterprise, and I was like, what?
What? We make comics too. Right?
Yep. I think Dennis was in. If Dennis wasn't in it, in Ebony or something, and so then I really knew, like you know what I mean, like I really do something. And there's other people that popped up, but yeah, man. So then I had to find those people, and I didn't have any fear. Like, if my thing was, if 3 or 4 people told me no, somebody gonna say yes. And I just kept grinding. That's really it. But I didn't break into Marvel really until 2007, just about 2008. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm curious, Ray, what was your first project with Marvel? Because the first time that I saw your work was on XMen 92, and I have some questions about that as well.
Okay, my first work was Spider-Man Family number 8, and I had a friend of mine, Alex Storm, and his friend Terrell, who did number 3 or 4. We're all kind of running around in the same crew, and just imagine. So online, I don't know if you guys remember Pencil Jack, and then they had Artzilla, and it was all these different online groups. There, I met people like Sanford Green online, Mark Brooks online. Those people are in my group. Basically.
Yo, Mark Brooks showed love. He actually had some engagement with me and the Comic Crusaders earlier this week. Like, he shows love, you know what I mean? So Good people.
Mark is good people. Like, there it is. That's it.
If you guys want to be something special, first RA Marvel, right?
Yep. First, yeah, that's really it. I submitted several times, and that's the one they hit. And guess who the person that was the main connect? I mean, I knew CB Spolsky back then and a couple people, but only through Mark. But the main person who people don't know is I've known Kevin Grievous for a long time.
He scared the crap out of me at a convention when he has the deepest voice. And I was walking by, he saw my hat and like, Comic Crusaders. Like, I'm like, oh shit.
Yep.
I'm like, him, oh bro, oh yo, he scared me, but what a cool dude, man. Cool.
Let me tell you something. You've seen him, right?
Yeah.
It's just big black
dude.
Yeah. Like, let me tell you, that's a superhero right there, man. Because
you don't want to F with him. Like,
I think Kevin's a microbiologist. Like, he's super smart.
He's a brain.
He's a brain. He's got the brawn. Kevin and I have talked hours and hours on end. He really put me up on game, and we were doing a few things together. But Kevin was the person who brought me in, although he'll tell you that I was the person who helped him get the gig. It was him, because by that time he was Mr. What is it? Underworld. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was doing Underworld then, and he had all these credits under his belt. So, much love to Kevin Grievous. That's my dude. And we ended up moving pretty close to each other too. So we would see each other at the market. and
are you stalking me?
Yeah, basically.
Worked on the Spider-Man book together, and his name is literally Grievous, like General Grievous.
Like General Grievous. Yep.
Yo.
But Kev was the first.
Okay. Word. So George Lucas, you know what I mean? He probably gonna have to pay some publishing since
I don't know, or put Kevin in a movie or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to see Kevin in a movie, because again, just with the voice and the look, he would scare the shit out of anybody.
Oh yeah, when my my wife answers the phone, Kevin, I speak to Ray.
Like, what did you do? Got some mafia guy wants to break your legs.
Dude, if he called too late though, he's mad respectful, because he called too late. My wife would be like, Kevin, it is too late to be calling.
Oh wow. Oh, she does the Larry David thing. Is 10 o'clock the cutoff?
Yeah, 10 o'clock is the cutoff. That's it.
There you go. That's the
Larry
David. I mean,
that's fair, right? So
Too
yeah.
fun.
So
all right,
that was it.
Excellent. So all right, so that continue, and because you also are an independent creator, and you created an awesome independent property, Midnight Tiger, right?
Oh yeah, Midnight Tiger. That was
how did that come? Was that before or after?
Well, wait, before Marvel or after Marvel? That was definitely, okay. So it was definitely after Marvel, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely after Marvel, and it was published 2014, but the idea came and building all that stuff was definitely early on before it just hit. But yeah, that's a whole other thing, because I was trying to get stuff done, and I mean, I'm one of those creators that's like both. Like, I want to work for the big two, but I also want my own stuff. I mean,
you should.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've been creating before that was my job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wanted to keep doing that. And I feel like the characters and the worlds I create are just as interesting and just as viable as what they have. That's why when I hear people talk about, we want something new, or why did they change the gender or the race of this person, why don't they just create a new black character? Why don't they just, well, guess what? It's a bunch of us out here that's doing that. Pick it up. If put your money
in the world of indie.
What is your universe called?
Well, you know what? Midnight Tiger had a universe, and what happened was it had its own universe, but then we moved over to Action Lab, and Brian Seaton had basically created Action Verse. So that's a universe unto itself, and it's got Vito Del Sante and Sean Isaac Stray and Jamal Eigels, Molly Danger, and a few others, that are in there. And we were basically trying to do something there, and it did okay, I guess. I mean, nobody was making any money though, but it was fun to work with my friends. So that was about it.
What about for the Cornerman universe?
Now that's a whole separate universe. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into Cornerman, folks. Let me just bring this up. I want you guys to see this really quick, because this is a beautiful piece of art, man. Just for the cover alone, right here. I mean, look at that. Yo, serious, yo. And I mean, I'm happy that homies like me with the grays right here.
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Look. You see, I look on the other side. It's reversed, but yeah, there you go. Yeah.
This looks great, man. So it's you and Chris Robinson, teaming up, on Zoop, this new crowdfunding platform, which I definitely want to ask you about how that works out. But talk about this. How did the world of Cornerman and this whole discussion come about and come to fruition where we see it here?
Well, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked myself. Aside from like you look at the Avengers and then you read all the Avengers comics, and they always training in this room. And who's the trainer in that room?
Who's
the trainer in the room? It's Cap, right?
It could be Cap, yeah, someone.
Who trained Cap?
XMen could be someone.
Well, XMen is Cerebro, right? They're technically I mean, Xavier's doing his thing, but he's not out there. I mean, Cat, he's limited, so he could do so much. But he's in they're in the danger room. So technically, they're just trying to train themselves.
Yeah.
But when you think about Captain America, who, if you go to the Marvel Universe, he's like judo and boxing and all these different things. I don't know how much they teach you in the military, but you know what I mean?
I'm saying though, and he became a super soldier immediately. He went from a weakling,
yep,
to a brawny and started kicking ass like off the get.
Right, with serious techniques, not just power, with serious techniques. Like, okay.
This is before
where's the manual? Folks. Like Spider-Man, I'll give Spider-Man a pass because he's got that spider sense, right?
A spider agility, yeah.
Right. So with that, he can avoid. He's got agility. He's got all these different things. So there's certain things he could do. But even when Shang-Chi got to him, he was like, "Yeah, you've been basically relying on your abilities this whole time, but you can't really fight. Like you kind of, you know, what
like
I mean?
Shang-Chi should be able to put it on Cap really quick."
Oh yeah, real quick and that's the only thing, right? I'm not saying the Cap's not trained,
exactly.
but nobody sees who that cat is.
Who was it?
Who was it?
It was his program, bro. You know what it is? In those old machines, instead of the Matrix that they would give you the injection in the neck, this is old school technology. They probably gave him a pipe up his butt, and injected some knowledge that way. Who knows?
It came with the super soldier serum.
Yeah, and with the years that Cap actually had, Wolverine, Black Widow, given the aging process of Black Widow and given the aging process of Natasha, she's a lot older than she actually looks. And Wolverine, of course, I don't know. I guess it's like he's probably going on 200 or something like that. It explains how much training that Wolverine has had and that Widow has had. They've all come.
But you notice you picked two characters where we've actually seen them train.
Yeah,
and the people who train them, right? Probably taught him a thing or two. Same thing with Black Panther. He's came in contact with Rogers before, and gave him some tips. And I'm assuming that
after Black Panther whooped him.
Say that again. He gave him a big old what?
After Black Panther whooped him.
Yes. Oh, what?
Right? Because
Panther has more of a tactical mindset than Rogers actually does.
Well, he's that's true because they trained. I mean, we've seen all. Thank you, John Romita Jr. and Reginald Hudlin, right? Because they broke that down. I mean, other people have also broke it down, but you've seen these specific people do some kind of training. Either the training is a part of their upbringing, or the training was exactly how they got. Like, let's take Daredevil for instance. Stick.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Or,
the mentor.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So we know who trained him.
Yes.
Right. And then basically,
and even Shang-Chi, we know who he got trained.
Thank you. Same thing with Iron Fist. Iron Fist, he just came on the scene, right? But just think of his origins. He came on the scene. It wasn't until Immortal Iron Fist did we see, okay, this is
the process.
Really, this is right. This is what's popping. So that's the story of Cornerman. Cornerman is the cat that trains. The person who trains you is better than you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, because that's just what it is, because they have something to teach you. Not that you can't go out and learn more, but you didn't come in the game this way.
Yeah.
So and I don't know, you guys are Dragon Ball fans
or
anything like that. Okay. So
you get that new mode.
Right. So I'm a huge anime manga fan, and I think about Think about the first series, Dragon Ball. Who trains Goku?
Master Roshi. And he was
Not,
training
but not first.
Mm.
His grandfather trained him first.
Well, they were running around with Oolong, and they were trying to get that first ball.
Right, but he keeps
Oolong
saying,
made that dumbass wish.
Yeah, your grandfather, his Goku's grandfather.
Right, Goku's grandfather. Word.
Because that's how Roshi knew. Like, oh, you was trained by Gohan, right? So okay, there you go. So now you have that. So that's Cornerman. Cornerman is, you don't see Roshi's story. You definitely don't see Gohan's story, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you see, but you see the results. So I'm going back. Here's this man who is like 50 plus in Jason Drexler, and me and Chris went back and forth and talking about this. And Chris came up with so much cool stuff, but that was the whole thing. And with Drex being like 50 plus, let's say he became a master in his mid-20s.
Okay.
Right. So in that regard, and he's training other people. Once you get to a certain point and you think about all the elite masters of these martial arts, they're not out there trying to start no trouble. They're cool because it's a spiritual thing, right? Like,
yeah,
I've mastered my body. I don't need to go out there and necessarily conquer the world. It's usually the immaturity of people who, let's say it's a kid with a gun, right? Like, you don't understand the power you have, so you out there trying to misuse it until somebody who is your elder comes out and say, hey, little boy, settle down.
Slow your roll.
Yeah, exactly. Because you think you're, just badass, but you really aren't. You're to the people below you, sure. Everybody's got a best, right? Everybody's got someone who's better.
Yeah. It was like when Chuck Norris went after Bruce Lee. Like, how dare he think he was going to beat Bruce Lee?
Right. Exactly. But if you're a big fish in a small pond,
Gotcha.
Until you meet a cat whose whole pond is the world, right?
Like, and I'm curious here though, Jason Drexler, the coach here, that teaches, he's the trainer. Does he hold any abilities himself?
You have to read the story.
Oh, man, tease.
You got to read the story. I mean, there's a page up there that actually shows his sister Andrea, who he trained as a kid. And you might be able to get a little hint from that.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that and he's been training superheroes, and a lot of the government wanted him to be out there in the field. He's like, I'll take this job and training your government heroes, but you'll never see me out there because that's not me. That's not my bag. I don't do that, right? But I'll help you because he feels fulfilled training others to kind of bring them to their fullest potential. That's where his joy comes from,
What made you have him develop a moral compass like that?
Well, because if you think about any teacher, teachers are mentors. Sometimes they're parental figures. Sometimes they're a best friend. Sometimes they're something. And their job as teachers is to bring out the best in their students and to help them discover who they are so they can go on and do the same thing to others, hopefully. Right. So it's each one teach one, but that's what Jason personifies, right?
Would you say that you based Jason off of a professor that you had in the past?
No, but I did base Jason off of a living legend right now, Michael Jai White.
Oh.
Hey.
The one and only Spawn
in the movie, right?
The one and only Spawn, the one and only Bronze Tiger, because he kicked ass as Bronze Tiger too. People don't know, man. They need to do a Bronze Tiger movie with him. Let them know. I mean, he was one of the original black martial artists in comics that came out. Richard Dragon #1, of course. Richard Dragon, white boy, master of kung fu. Again, who trained him? But we got Bronze Tiger too kicking ass.
Well, I will say DC is better at that kind of stuff than Marvel because they have Lady Shiva. They got all these other.
Even racial Batman,
right?
Batman
so
stuff.
You've seen it. You've seen who these people are, which is fantastic. So so just think how deep it goes, right? Like I saw that face. That's it.
My mind is like buzzing. So is this world, the Cornerman world, it has its own superheroes and all that you and Chris put together?
It does. Yes.
Oh my
it
gosh.
definitely does. But then,
is it based in the now? Is it based in this timeline or
loosely? So it's almost like a mashup. I'll tell you this. It's like a mashup. So just imagine something like Dragon Ball or King and Ashura or all those anime shonen fight mangas.
Okay.
Mashed in with, let's say, the Marvel Universe.
Okay.
Ooh. So these battles that people see where it's like, I wonder if Superman could beat Goku. Is that kind of stuff. Like, here's this superhero, right?
Don't start no arguments, bro.
Right.
That one is always a good argument.
Can One Punch Man beat Thanos?
One punch. It says it. Let me stop.
Right. One punch. So
y'all leaving out you.
Hey,
come on now.
There you go. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what the world of Cornerman actually is.
That's great.
It's super martial artists versus the superhero world, and it's got like Big Trouble in Little China kind of thing in it, because there is an adventure in that, because he basically the basic story we're putting up on ZOOP is an introduction to the world itself. And he's got to go in, and the government's like, "Hey, Drex, we need your help. All these superheroes are kidnapped and everything." And he's like, "Sound like a personal problem," like,
damn, he's cold like that.
Oh yeah, because it's like, you got these powers, get yourself out of it. You know what I mean? I did my part. And he's like, you know what? We understand that. We know you don't want to go into the field, but here's this little something. Your sister's been kind of moonlighting. She's supposed to be in graduate school, but she's been helping us. And
now that would make me madder. Like, you and that
there you go. Like, really? You didn't tell me? You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing all stuff for you guys. So he's pissed off, and now he has to go.
Gotcha. So here's the man on the mission wanting to do something he doesn't want to do.
No, he doesn't want to do.
Gotcha. And this is gonna be a nice 32-page big boy, huh? On that number 1.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get all kinds of stuff. You get like a lot of character profiles, what you see up there. Chris has already got stuff cooking of what he's gonna write up, and like, we have a character called Agent Boson. Boson is this dude that is like, that the weakest link kind of cat.
Okay.
Where he's either the nerdy guy or whatever. Sure, he's an agent and he's trained, because anybody could, if you qualify, that's fine. But he's at the bottom rung. Let's say he's not as courageous or whatever. And when they go in to get Drex and kind of meet him at his apartment, he's like, these guys think they're gonna catch me. And he's basically whooping everybody else's butt. He doesn't even touch Boson. He doesn't touch him, because first of all, Boson is scared. Right? He's scared. He already knows, like, it's no point. I already know what this dude is. And so his team, Boson's team, the agents are cracking on him like, you're scaredy cat, you this, that, or whatever. They're the guys that he gets picked on. So when the chief says, "Hey, we need you to go. We need somebody to go with you, because we basically, you don't trust us, we don't trust you." So she ends up picking this like big, who she thinks is the baddest, team guy in there. And Drex is like, "I don't want that guy. I want this to So he picks Boson.
Oh, nice. So basically, you're gonna turn Boson from cringer to battle cat. I hope.
Huh? Interesting.
Let's see. I hope so. All right. So, folks, please don't be cheap. Support this project. Look, he only asked me for $8,500. You're already hearing the layout of the universe. I mean, it sounds fantastic. You have 2258. I mean, I've seen projects asking for 20 racks, that don't even sound as amazing as this does, and actually, be making it. So, folks, go over here to ZOOP. I mean, 2258 and these 8,500. 42 supporters. God bless each and every one of you with 22 days left. It's going to be amazing. So, and there's also more rewards or add-ons, right? Because you got $10. Explain to me the different covers and what little extras that if people submit X amount, what are we getting here? Because I see you offering bust sketches and full body sketches, full body, full sketch. There's probably like a naked sketch from here. I'm afraid to scroll down now. Only playing.
Well, I got original artwork up there too, like from some of the work I did on Star Wars.
Oh shit! Look at that.
So, yeah, I've got I got that up there. I've got I'm doing the original like sketch covers. We're gonna have sketch cover stuff because here's the thing, with ZOOP, which is fantastic. It's kind of like if Image and Kickstarter had a baby, that's ZOOP.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So they kind of, say, okay, you got this cool project. We want to help you fund it and make it happen. As creators, we want you to create. We want you to get it done, and we want you to put your best foot forward when it comes to this stuff because we believe in this project, and we're going to take care of the rest of the stuff. We're going to, help you ship it. We're going to get the printer. We're going to talk, marketing. You see, they're all on there. They're out there promoting the heck out of it. So they're already coming through, and it's been so cool and it's so collaborative because the guys at ZOOP are talking to me and Chris on these our little meetings and it's so cool. Like everybody knows what each other's doing and we have ideas. You bounce off of each other like a publisher would, right? Like how do we market this? What do we do? And it's been great. It's really kind of a great experience to have. And Chris and I can basically focus on getting it out there because, the way we have our stuff divvied up, the way Chris and I work is basically like old Marvel style. Like we're coming up with these ideas and, I'm putting up, pages and we're bouncing things off of each other. And we're just having this beautiful flow. It's probably one of the best working relationships I've had.
Nice.
And a co-creator, so.
And it just makes the process all that much easier and fun.
Yes, Al. That's it. It's been fantastic.
And I just noticed you have a little video here. Let me go ahead and just play it for the folks to check out real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Chris is better at talking about it.
Cornerman. Put up your guard. Yardy yard. It's your favorite writer / editor, Chris. I can't wait to talk to you about a brand new comic from the ZOOP and Studio Sky Tiger called Cornerman Exhibition Match. By myself and Ray Anthony Height, the writer-artist behind Midnight Tiger, many Marvel comics over the years, which is probably Domino, Ghost Rider, Moon Girl, Double Dinosaur, the first ever issue of Marvel's Voices. So what is Cornerman? Well, just because you get superpowers doesn't mean you know how to throw a punch. That's where Jason Drexler comes in. He's the world's greatest fighter.
Look how gorgeous that looks.
He's a martial artist, expert tactician, and he uses all those skills to teach superheroes how to fight. Until one day, the superheroes go missing, and the government turns to Drex to bring him back in. And then it gets crazy.
Hello, Glory. Ultimately, this is a story about the support man who wants to otherwise be invisible. He doesn't mind playing in the background. He would actually prefer it.
Drex is the kind of guy who likes to steer clear of drama. You can always tell when somebody's really good at fighting because they do not want to fight at all. He looks like Power Man, but he fights like Iron Fist.
Oh.
Being a manga fan and a huge high adventure fan, Chris and I are bringing you a story in Cornerman that is equal parts Keaton, Ashura, and Controlling China, with a little bit of Dragon Ball thrown in.
The story was inspired by Marvel comics like Master of Kung Fu and Power Man and Iron Fist.
Nice.
But also manga like One Punch Man and Dragon Ball. Thanks to our friends at ZOOP, you're getting on the ground floor with this special exhibition match issue containing the first ever Cornerman story, plus extra material that won't be available anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to get this anywhere else.
Love it.
There it is.
Love it. Love it. I mean, how amazing is that? That's fire.
Fine art right there.
I mean, yeah.
Thank you.
But this, I mean, dude, man, amazing. I could see the Michael J now.
Yeah, so like I said, I didn't want to make it an exact, because I mean,
no, but I see the influence, especially on here on that scene. I kind of see it.
Yeah,
that's an angry Jay about to fuck you up as Bronze Tiger. Right?
Tap dude, you're gonna tap dude.
Oh yeah.
It's confirmed, right? You're gonna tap him.
Well, you know what? Because this is it's again, it's inspired. It would be totally flattering if Michael were to be like, oh man, I love this, and even if he just retweeted it or dropped something on his Instagram, that would be really cool. I'm not counting on anything like that.
We gotta be Mike, dress up just like this and take a photo, man. Come on, dress up like
Well,
the homie.
you know what? Well, he's got this fantastic production company called Gigantic Studios.
Okay.
And so he does his own, productions and with his own ideas, and maybe he's taking on any other ideas. So that would be kind of cool too, right? Like if he's like, you know what, I want to put this, I want to option this, who knows? I mean, sky's the limit, but
it is the sky's the limit. And this is what we need, though. We need this. Like just as when you started, people will be begging DC and Marvel for oh, why this, why that. The world of independent is so full of what you want as a fan. I mean,
definitely,
that's just real talk. I mean, and here we are, original POC character that's kicking ass, created by an amazing POC artist. I mean, what more do you want, right?
Hey, you're looking for representation. You're looking for
there.
It's right here. It's right here. And I mean, for the most part, it's almost all POC on the creative team. We haven't announced our letterer or colorist yet, but when we get the pages in, you'll see, and then we'll announce them when we get that stuff part in there.
Gotcha. So right now, what is the 8,500 going to support when you reach the
goal? There's stuff that we have to deal with our partnership with ZOOP, but it's going to be the printing costs and our time, and we're going to pay the colorists and all the people who are involved, because for the most part, Chris and I aren't really getting paid.
Okay.
I mean, not with 8,500. 8,500, that's basically like at the bottom, and that most comics, it takes about $10,000 to produce a single issue.
Ooh, weird.
Yeah, if you're paying decent rates,
okay,
comic rates. So for me, doing pencil and ink. So if I'm doing pencil and inks and writing, I mean, and I was doing it for another company, I could make, for the book, $8,000 on my own.
Oh, nice.
Right. But that's what it is. That's what I would get paid or something like that. Right. If I'm doing all of those, if I'm wearing all of those hats. But I'm hiring out, right? I'm doing all this, and then we have to pay for the production. And you see, we have like multiple covers, dude. We got,
yes, you do.
We got colors, we got all this stuff. That $8,500 is going to be
gone in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So
and so we're not seeing any of that. Not
so
really. That's why we have to go over. If we got like, 10,000, 15,000, whatever, then maybe Chris and I could get paid.
Maybe they could buy a burger at McDonald's, right?
I don't know, maybe, but that's how much we love the project, because our point is to get it to you, to get it out, to get it out in the world, man. So
real creators, man.
Exactly.
Real creators.
Exactly. Because we're taking 3, 4, 5 jobs. That's where the money's coming from. We're doing work for hire stuff. That's where our money's coming from, or whatever. This right here, this is our thing, and we're kind of letting the fans say, hey, is this something you want to see? That's really what it is for the most part. And we're getting this out there. And the future of Cornerman, we want to actually do a full series. If it does well, enough people, are behind it, and we're looking for probably publishers after this to pick up a series. And this could be the thing that I don't know, the next bit of root. I don't know, man. Like, it could be
amazing,
or excellence, right? Yeah. So because there are 2 teams of creators that I'm very close friends with, and let me tell you guys up front, I love to watch people win. I love it. I love to see us win.
I get it.
And that's it. So when I talk about them, it is the love, man. Love is there.
I get you.
When did you get to the point when you were like, okay, I'm ready to go and branch out and start creating passion projects?
It's because with Midnight Tiger basically being held up at Action Line, because I can't print it, I can't take it anywhere, it's not doing anything, and then it actually costs me money that I don't have, money and time. Time is the most precious thing to actually try to do anything. But if I can't benefit from it in a good way, and I'm going broke, I can't, you know, because I just can't do that. So
can't sustain it. I get it.
I really can't. That's why I'm giving the Midnight Tiger fans one final issue, you know, and that's it. And then
Is
I'm
that
leaving all
coming
behind.
through? Is that coming through Action Live? Because I actually was at MegaCon and I saw Dan Mendoza, and he had a popular thing at Action Live,
He
Zombie
did.
Tramp, and it just disappeared. And then I see him there, and now it's coming via a new publisher, if you will, but in conjunction with. So you know,
Yeah,
I don't know
well,
what's going on over there, but you know,
I can't get into it. I really can't get into it. That's, you know, but
I understand. But
yeah.
just with you being held up at midnight and then seeing my homie got held up with Zombie, obviously something's going on, and it's a shame because Action Lab had a huge stable of amazing creators and product.
Well, they did. They had, and people were going to them and everything, but it's all
Mhm.
about the reason why. Think about the reason why Image was created. Think about why there are royalty lawsuits. Why Jim Starlin is pissed off about, you know, Thanos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ownership, and I mean, if you create something and you're seeing very little or whatever, if it's all yours, then you'll know, okay, this is not working for me. I can let it be, right? But if somebody's like, nah, you keep doing it. I'm not necessarily doing that much, but you keep doing it, and you know, I'll be controlling a good portion of it, because guess what comics is? People want to see the print. When I ran that last Midnight Tiger, and I did it all digital, I barely made my.
Wow.
I barely made it, and it's all digital because. And the question I kept getting asked over and over and over again was, "Is this going to be print?" And then people were like, "You know what? It would probably have been way more people, or I would have signed up if it had been in print."
Yes.
I can't fault that, because guess what I want? I want a print comic. You know what I mean? I want it to hold it in my hand.
Yeah, I'm an old schooler myself. Again, I don't need a tablet with a dying battery. You know, with a
Yeah,
comic book,
right.
no batteries required. Could read anytime.
No, here's the beauty of it though. But it's both. So if I can offer you, that's the beauty of Cornerman. We're offering both.
Nice.
Because let's say you want to keep this as a collector's item, because you can only get this particular version on ZOOP. You do that. Oh yeah,
nice.
because that's why it's called exhibition match. Like in any, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, this is showing you the world. This is giving you a preview of what could be. And that's really what this is. So we own it. This is all ours. That's why I was like, and if we want to, you know, once we're done, we could take this anywhere.
Wonderful. How do you feel as a creator, just being able to say that this is my baby and I could take it anywhere?
You know what? That's it. If Chris and I are in agreement with everything, you know, it's like, let's do it. You know, let's do it. Because we're a team and we're a package deal. So, and that's, yeah, I mean, that's the thing when you work with people you really, really like and you have fun with. You want to do things together.
Yes, yeah. Everybody eats, not just one of us.
That's it. That's what this is. So, but yeah, man, this is it.
All right. So, folks, again, you know, yes, 22 days left. Show the love. Please make this happen. You know, this is the future right here. Again, you got 4 covers, you know, here, you know.
Right now, it's more to come. Just letting you know, there's more covers to come.
There's more. I mean, look at this. The early bird special sold out, folks. Forget about it.
Yeah, it's over.
Wow, that was a deal, man. All 4 covers for 40 beans. That's a deal.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks great. So we're gonna have this. What about you, Ray? In the future, what's Ray working on? What's Ray got coming? Because I see some. I mean,
you know what we're supposed to talk about it first, right? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sever, didn't you have a question?
Oh,
is he frozen on me?
Okay, so I'm curious. Nah, never that. I'm curious. When it comes down to hang on. So I'm curious as to, you know, you have these covers coming out and they're going to be for certain tiers for the individuals to support the Cornerman book. Now, when you're sketching these covers and you take it back to your days working these conventions, is there any special requests that you have for the covers? Is there any request, like, you know, like what's the most requests that you get when it comes down to sketching these covers?
It depends on what's hot, what's hot in the streets. Like it's usually so. Let's say I feel like the next convention I go to, I'm gonna get a lot of Star Wars type requests. So, um, and it should be depending on where we are with the schedule, because the next con I'm going to is in December, and that is CCR Comic Con Revolution Ontario here in California. Shout out to those cats, Mike Sigliano. And I think it's going to be Star Wars for sure, especially Dr. Afra.
Yes.
Word.
Yeah.
But,
oh yeah.
But by then, I expect people to request something else, because I heard that
Oh no, I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah, man, because there's something about some city being on fire that's coming soon.
That's what we were supposed to talk about, right, Al? Like that was
man.
initially.
That was initially, but I gotta find out now before we even go, because bro, you do
so, Luke Cage.
Yo, oh my God, look at that.
Yeah. Luke Cage, so I'm finally on that.
Okay, let me show it really quickly. Boom! Look at that cover, mother effer. I mean, there's number one. I believe you're doing number 2. Correct?
I am. I'm doing number 2.
How did you get approached for this Power Man book?
Yeah.
You know what? The guys in Marvel, I've got I want to call it 14-year career with them so far.
Okay.
And recently, I moved up. I moved up. But that's the thing. You got to pay your dues, and I definitely have paid my dues for a long time. And
yes, you have. I know we've been politicking on social for a long time.
A long time, and you could see, right? You can
growth.
see the change. I would say the last 3 years, the kind of stuff I got. I'm going to tell you when it really first happened. When I was like kind of like this in my career. Just doing like fill-in stuff or whatever, and oh, that guy is cool, but you just forget. I'm still getting work, but you don't know who I am yet. It wasn't until I got on XMen Blue, and
yes.
I would say Superb with Lion Forge, which I loved that book so much. It means a lot to me. When I was on Superb, where I was doing interiors and covers, right, and then they offered me XMen Blue, so once you get on the X-Men book,
it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I mean, the legendary. How did you feel when they came to you and said, "Yo"? I mean, you start off with Spider-Man first of all. I mean, you were already spoiled coming in though, and now you're getting X-Men.
yeah. I mean, X-Men is the book. There are certain books you get. So I'll tell you, like, I'll break it down. If I was on a main Spidey book, then it would be big, right? Okay. So like the main Spider-Man book. Spider-Man Family is like one of those, side books, it's kind of like Chris Samnee on I think Mighty Thor you didn't really know who Chris was. Editors knew who he was, but it wasn't until he got on this other stuff that was like, oh wait, and then you go back to the first stuff like, well, this cat was good. Yeah, he was good back then. You know what I mean? It wasn't, but you get your weight up. So anyway, X-Men popped up, and it was like, boom, I was amazing. Getting requests and stuff like that. And then I started doing different things, man. And they could see what I could do. And I feel like my relationships there are better. My relationships with editors are better. My time there, and I try to put out some of the best stuff. Man, I really do. And I took a step away for a year to work on Guardians of the Galaxy, the animated series. So I did storyboards for that. So when I came back, it was like, that was 2014. I don't know. Maybe. No, it wasn't 2014. It was 2017. Sorry. It was 2017.
Animated series?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Marvel did that.
On Disney XD.
Oh, yeah.
It was surprisingly mature. What was that like? Was it a big switch from doing panels?
Yeah, it's because you have to switch modes. My biggest problem was that I'm doing comics, and this comics has a lot of detail, right? So when you're doing boards, you don't need that much detail. You need to get the idea across so the animators and the story and the movement. So I'm switching from a static viewpoint to a cinematic viewpoint. That's the other thing. So I have to think in those terms, because this film, and you have to study that and how that moves. And but yeah, that was the worst thing. I was overdoing it in the beginning. But my my director, I basically got the job off the bat. Like you know what I mean? Like,
look at it. Nice.
Yeah. I got the job, but I wasn't as ready as I wanted to be, you know?
Okay.
And most of my friends that I came up with, I don't say most, but a good clique of them, they started out in comics, and then somewhere along the way, like boom, they ended up going into animation. So Matthew Humphreys, who is a director of DuckTales, LaShawn Thomas, who's doing God knows, all kind of stuff. He just did I want to say, is it Sasuke? Or something. Yeah. What else did he do? Cannon Busters, other people, Jeff Wamaster, who was my director there, on Guardians of the Galaxy. So all these people were in comics.
Wow.
And yeah.
Well, I love how things, you never know where life takes you, right?
Yeah.
Direction wise, which is great. But of course, that's pop culture, man. Let's do it. So,
and sorry, I believe it's Yusuke, not Sasuke. I'm thinking Naruto, right?
Word. I was like, what? They had a Naruto spinoff.
No. It's
Naruto. I'm like, okay.
Sorry, LaShawn, if you ever hear this.
You know what? That's what I really respect about you, Ray, just from this conversation. Like, you remember names, you remember everybody that you work with, and it seems like you're always on a good rapport with the people that the people that you came in contact with, and the people that you come up with.
We're grinding together. That's really it. We're in this together. I mean, and I was telling my wife, it's funny, man, you mentioned that, because my wife, I was telling my wife, I was like, I kick myself in the head all the time if I forget a person's name. And a few years ago, I was having one of those bouts where I forgot somebody's name or whatever. And she's like, you meet hundreds of people. Like, it's okay. So, but yeah. Nice. I'm hard on myself, man. It's all good.
My wife would have been all over me if I did that, because there was one time when I lived in Brooklyn, we went to a mall, and this kid I used to go to high school with was like, what's up? Giving me hugs and all, man. And I, for the life of me, could not remember his name. He's like, yo, and my wife's looking at me like with this evil look, and he just goes, hi, man, I gotta go real quick, man. We would like to see you. And he runs, and I was like, you're so fucking rude. I'm like, wait, I swear to God, I just don't know his name. I forgot. And you know what's funny? I remembered a week later. I said, Manny. And she goes, what the hell are you talking about? I said, that was his name.
That was his name.
Still thinking about that? I'm like, yeah, I was.
No, I do the same thing. And it'll be the craziest thing about
you run into the room. Manny, what?
Yep. What
are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, the cat that I forgot their name last week. Oh, well, it's over with now.
I love it. That's what happens to us 40 plus, right?
That's what it is. I always say I have so much stuff in here. Everything's pushed out through my ears, Just it's not enough room.
Oh man. Yo, Ray, you've been amazing, man. A great guest. And I don't want to keep you much longer, because I know you were working on something right before you came on. So folks, this is the key part here. You see that in the bottom, support Cornerman. Go to zoop.gg/c/Cornerman. Support this amazing project. Please follow Ray. Where we at? Where's my Ray at? There you go. There goes Ray right there on Twitter, right? On Instagram, on Twitter, R.A. Height. Instagram, Art of R.A. Height. Check him out. And please support my fellow Crusader, C.V.R The Bard right here. He has some awesome reviews up on Comic Crusaders today, and just about almost every day. He's covering music and sports and comics. My man is doing it all. A big fanatic of pop culture. Happy to have you aboard,
I just want to say, by the way, Omega, really, you guys got to support this Cornerman off tops, just due to the fact that the base price that Ray is asking over here is for the low. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are paintings that go for millions. I'm talking about close to billions of dollars, or at least a tenth of that, close to the 10th of a billion. And this man is only just asking just for a couple K. And this is fine art, and it's a tier program.
I figure if people drop in $10 or whatever it is, if I get 1,000 people to drop in $10 or whatever, it's really getting it out to as many people as possible. Because the more people who are aware of it, then everybody doesn't have to drop some. But let's say if it's 100,000 people and 10%, 5%, drop something, we made it.
Yeah, do it, folks. Forget that $10 cup of Starbucks nasty coffee. and get something that's actually good in Cornerman.
This is that good stuff. This will feed your soul.
Yeah, it'll feed the soul and it'll keep you fired up as well because it's an action-packed issue, I'm sure. So you're gonna be awake. Who needs that nasty coffee? And if you're gonna get coffee, get Bustelo. It's cheaper, and that you can still buy the book. All right.
There you go. You got it. He's transferring the energy on that. You know what I'm saying? There's some real power over here. Support it.
Yeah,
thank
support it.
Much.
There we go. All right, thank you again. You've been great. C.V.R, thank you. You've been awesome, brother. Co-pilot, appreciate the time. Both of you folks, you know what to do. Check out our channels, Comic Crusaders, Undercover Capes. Show some love for the Comic Crusaders podcast right here. Drops a new episode every Tuesday. Otherwise, you can watch the videos live on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. All right. Thank you again, Ray. To mi familia. Hasta la próxima. Much love, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.